Okay, it is 9:24 a.m. March the 24th, 21, and as I said in the previous video, I'm not going to have any stocks here on the main screen. In fact, it's going to be all on the other screen, and I'm just going to have it in order from the most down on the day in the top of the list so I can find any potential number 5 setups. And I did add a few stocks to the watch list today. It wasn't really that many. It's going to be just a continuation of yesterday, just looking for number 5 setups and intraday, multi-day breakout, multi-week, multi-month. And with the ones that spike a lot, like this one, JZZI, that spikes a lot, I've seen a few of these, and what I'm going to consider is potentially a dip buy, as long as it's going up. But if it starts going down like this and then it makes a dip buy opportunity, I'm just not going to trade those, because those seem to really fail a lot. But some of them, they do spike a lot, they get like a little hiccup, a little break, and then they go back to spiking. So I'll be looking at those. They're pretty scary, but I'm definitely going to stick with number 5s if any of them happen. Otherwise, this is where I'm at right now. Not too interested in listed stocks, but if there is such a beautiful setup, I'll have to trade it if it's just really good. Alright, it's 9:36 a.m. I just had a trade with 100,000 shares here with AZL. This one was down, I think at its worst, like I don't know, 18% on the day. It had this immediate spike. I missed this immediate spike, and I did not buy it because it was just too quick. And we have seen these number 5 setups to be a little choppy. So instead of a perfect drop and spike, it does a drops, mini spike, and then it drops again. That's exactly what happened here. So when it dropped again and it got to what time it was, 9:34, right here. So it had a drop, kind of putting up a higher low from here, to there. So higher low here, showing some kind of a good price action. A lot of people on the bid, a lot of people on the bid, and less people on the ask, and good price action. So people weren't dumping their shares on the bid. That's when I considered a buy at 57. But I just felt kind of iffy about it, because even though I put my limit at 57, it was trading 55 by 56. So I got executed at 57, and I didn't like the entry that I was in. So for that reason, I immediately, not immediately, but I sold almost at the next candle at 59. So the very top of this candle, just to play it safe, just because I didn't like the entry, the price I was in. I wanted to be in at 56. I got executed at 57. Even though my limit was at 57, there was a really good chance to get executed at 56. And so we got to 59. I went ahead and sold. Now it's at 61. This is nice, but the level 2 isn't looking as good as it was previously. I think I haven't really been looking at it since I started recording, and I don't see any other stocks that could be down on the dates. Actually, we have one. It's ETFM. I might miss it, dude. We'll see. We have a 6,000 seller on the ask, which isn't good. I could still do it, but the 30-day chart here isn't really that good. I would have to see the 6,000 seller disappear or get taken out for me to be interested. And then at that point, is it really still worth buying it? It's pretty illiquid, or at least the spread is not good. We have a bidder here, but that seller, if it's still there on the ask, could just throw the whole thing off, Excuse me. I'll keep looking at this one, but it could be a bit choppy. Maybe too choppy for me to be interested. There are other ones, I think. Not really that good, but Yeah, I'll keep looking. I don't know about this one too much. Maybe if it drops more, maybe if it drops under 20%, I'll be interested. I just have to really judge the price action, and all I see is people on the level 2 that are much larger than the people on the bid. And then when we do have strong people on the bid, people are dumping their shares on it. So until I see some kind of change, and if it's still worth it, I'll consider trading it. But in the meantime, I don't think I really will. AZL's at 64. That's pretty nice. I played it very safe. They're both at the same price. That's interesting. I don't know. It looks like it's trying to uptrend. You know, keep up and make higher. I'll make a higher low here, but you know, I'm gonna play it very safely. If it does happen, I might actually just trade. If I trade this 50,000 shares, just because it's just, you know, not as nice as I'd like it to be. It's trading pretty slowly now. The volume is kind of drying up. It's not really that good, but it could get better all of a sudden. I think people are just scared of that 6,000 seller. You know what, this one could do it, but if it's going to take this long, it's probably for the better not to trade it, I think. Let's see, I might try doing it here, but you know, I could in theory be buying this, but I don't like how slow this thing just started trading all of a sudden. Yeah, we're seeing some kind of a spike, but that 6,000 seller might scare off the people from wanting to buy this setup. It's scaring me out of it. Just to play it safe, I don't have to be in this trade. I'll just give it a watch. Whether it works out or not, totally cool either way. I won't trade this stock, but I'll definitely see how it does. Again, if it wasn't for this 6,000 you know, share seller here, I would be interested. I would probably be buying it at some point. I would have bought already, but that's not the case. This guy is there, so I'll just make an update and see what happens to it later. AZL is making me look stupid, but hey, that's incredible. It went to 69. I'm just happy that this is just proof that the setup is working. Look at that massive buying action. All of these big blocks. How much did I even make from that trade? I traded small. I made like 18 bucks. I made 18 bucks, and let's see, I bought 934. I bought here and I sold here. That's all I did. I bought here, sold here, made 18 bucks. I traded a small position. I traded like a $590 position, I think. Obviously not the best case scenario. This is actually nice too, because it looks like it's breaking 70, which if you go back here is actually a breakout. That is super strong. That is super impressive. I'll be looking to Maybe even consider dip buying this stock if it bounces and it drops and holds this 70 level. That could be very impressive. This is a very nice number 5. I'm really happy that I did this. I didn't have any stocks on the main screen until I started to look at which ones are dropping. It seems like that's a great idea because it keeps any bias of me wanting to trade the ones here. Out of curiosity, AABB is just being choppy. Looks like it's trying to consider spiking or not, but it's up on the day too, so not necessarily the best. That's pretty impressive. And ETFM looks like it just dropped some more. Maybe that person, that 9,000 seller, I mean it says 9 million here, but that's what it is. Maybe that person who was selling actually just got all of his shares out. He said, I'm tired of trying to sell my shares here. Let me just dump it on the bid. And I think that's exactly what might have happened. Now this is actually worth trading because it's down even more. It's like it's kind of better odds, but I'm just gonna play that one safe. It still might hold this level here at 53, I think. No, it's right at 55. This is where it would hold ideally. If it doesn't, that's super sketchy. I might consider trading it now just because it dropped more. Let's stick with that. I'll be impressed if this thing cracks 55. I don't think it will, but there's always a chance it cracks 55 and it really drops. Really drops. I don't like the price action. You know, in theory it's doing it, but I think there's just too many people who are dumping their shares. There's too many bag holders. Yeah, I think I'll go back to just not trading it, even though it dropped more. Right, and then this spike is too quickly. Maybe if it drops again and makes a higher low like AZL, I'll be interested in it, which is at 74. That's impressive. If this thing can downtrend and hold this, if it could spike more, hold the 70s after it falls, I might consider a dip buy, but it has to be a pretty quick setup if you ask me. That's incredible. I mean, I could have bought at what, 58? Yeah, 61, but there's too many people selling on the ask. I'm not interested in. I'm actually gonna remove it just to not tempt myself to buying it. AZL is a lot better. I don't see any other stocks that are down on the day for me to consider a number 5 setup. Except for SURG. I'm gonna just call off the recording for now. I'll keep looking for setups. If there isn't any, that's totally fine. I'll get back in a moment. Alright, it's 9:51 a.m. I just wanted to make an update. I didn't realize till now that where is it? Tim actually sold at the market open this position right at 9:30. So he sold here, right? He sold here at 58. I literally bought like 4 minutes later. So this is kind of nice because Tim sells, all of his stupid followers sell at the same time, and then that causes this price action, and that's when I bought right here. And I sold right at the very next candle like a G. And it goes to 77. Price action doesn't look so good anymore. The level 2 and then it does. Yeah, I was totally right about considering a dip buy here in the 70s. It held and it bounced from 70 to 77, so that's a 10% move, but it was just too quick. I wasn't there when it happened either. SURG, I'm not going to trade it. It is down on the day, but it's just too jumpy. It's not very good price action. And ETFM, it got to 60 from that 56. The spike was too quick. Big seller on the ask, so this is a no-go. It's just AZFL right now to look at, and I'll be looking for any stocks that are spiking huge, any OTCs, and maybe consider dip buying them only on the front side of the move. Ideally, you can't really tell if you're in the front side of the move or not, but you know, that's why you trade small and you cut losses quickly if it, you know, doesn't work out. I'm at this point right now. There's nothing else I want to trade. I'll just keep looking at the meantime. Alright, it is 10:03 a.m. Yeah, I was looking at it here, but the problem is that it cracked it, so that was pretty bad, and it held it, and it spiked here nicely again to 77. Another 10% move. It might even try to break the all-day high. Depends on if it breaks or not. I don't mind it. I missed it. I just wasn't there when this happened here, and it would have probably kept me out of the trade because it did have this drop here at some point. So this is a very nice runner, but actually the one I was more interested in is UAMM because it's not doing it. It failed, but if this thing would have cracked over like this 14 level, it failed here, failed, continuously failed 14. If it was able to do it today, that would have been so nice. Super impressive. It didn't though, so I'm just gonna have to put that one to the side. AZFL is a nice runner, up 20%. I'm gonna look at that chat and see if there's any other stocks that that I haven't seen, but this is definitely where I'm at right now. Very nice breakouts. Don't want to chase it even if it goes to 90, right? So just want to play it safe. Two good dip buys here at 7. One was kind of quick. This one was a bit better, but kind of sketchy because it had that big drop there. Okay, it is 10:25 a.m. I was just looking at this OTC stock that's up 6. Well, at the time it was 60% up on the day when I considered buying it. I considered buying it at 21. Right now it's 22 by 23. Something to note: there was like a 6666 sell order in the time and sales. Maybe that's like code with the promoters to get off the ask or something like that, or to buy it up. I have no clue. There was an interview with a promoter, and he would like flash 666 on the level 2 to tell everybody to get out on the bid. I have no clue, but it's just interesting because it's up 60% on the day. If you look at a daily chart, it could continue a small run up. It might be smaller than this one. That's how it usually plays, but maybe not. Just would have considered it a very small position size of just 400 bucks just to play it safe. AZFL, I'll be honest, I just missed it right here. I just have not really I've been distracted, and if you're that person, shout out to you. And yeah, I just missed it. It had another run up here to 88, but it would have been kind of sketchy buying it now. It could have been what you call a confirmed breakout, so it kind of breaks past this 77 level, gets to 84, goes back to 77, holds and spikes again. Same thing here with 70, but it's kind of like the next level up, so it's kind of higher, kind of sketchy. But hey, this is nice because considering how nice it is, how big it is, and all of this stuff, this can make a nice number 5 setup in the future. But again, I will not have any stocks on the main watch list unless they just show they're down on the day a lot in the other screen, and that's when I'll consider trading it. ETFM is at 76. It never really did much. Once it did here, it just kind of chopped around. It's not really anything impressive. Was probably right to not trade it. Had it have broken 55, right, that would have been super impressive. That would have caused a lot of selling. That probably would have been a lot better. Maybe would have made a better bounce, but not this. SURG, the other one I was looking at, just keeps dropping. It's not trading nicely. Volume isn't really there. There was another one that kind of did a number 5, HQGE, but it wasn't really perfect. I mean, it was very bouncy. Volume was crap too. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. I still don't see any setups. It's 10:28, around 10:40 perhaps. I'll just call it off, and maybe I'll look at the markets later in the afternoon. But right now, I don't see anything that's, you know, a potential trade. Alright, it is 12:20 p.m. I think I'm going to just call it off today. Haven't really been looking at the markets too much since the last recording. Let's just take a look. LEAF as a stock, Tim, has been burned several times trying to play for a breakout, and it looks like it did one. I actually considered it here, but I don't know, it just looks way too choppy. Jumps back and forth. Very crazy looking stock. It can do it without me. I don't mind. It's also 12, so it's not really the best time. Sometimes it is the best time to breakouts. We'll see how this one does. Maybe I'll look at it tomorrow. This is a NASDAQ stock too, so that's pretty impressive. AZL is chilling here in its highs. Don't forget I bought here and like sold there. That's so silly, but I don't mind because I played it safe. Could have been a very bad trade. You know, could have failed. I got used to number 5 setups. I didn't do it perfectly, and this one kind of wasn't perfect because, you know, it had this green candle, then it dropped again, and that's when I bought. I need to get used to that. Not all of them are just going to be perfect red and then perfect green. Not the first time I've seen this happen where it drops green candle red, but AABB was more complicated because it did it like 2 times. I think it wasn't too nice. Again, just a very nice move there. The other one I was considering, I think it was ETFM. Looks like it's now at 69, but it's very slow. It's a very slow uptrend. Yes, definitely when it was 55, 56, people were buying it up because it had that 14-day support, but you didn't know back then if it was going to actually hold or not. This was nice. You could have bought here, and the thing is that this is a very slow, and of course it's because it's a sketchy OTC dead 30-day chart. It could have, you know, you never know, it could be halted at some point. Something really bad could have happened, so I don't mind that trading that one safely. You know, it is what it is. It could totally have been worse. Oh man, this one looks not too bad actually. DSCR looks like it's trying to break this high right here at 95. I guess I would call it 95, but it did get to 97 at some point. It's just chilling on its high, so I'll look at this one towards the afternoon, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it off. If I happen to trade something from like 2 to 3 or 4, you know, 2 to 4 p.m., I'll just throw it in the next video, especially if something like this breaks out. But I'll just play it safe, even though the markets are overall up. You know, we're not seeing the best price action, at least for me, although some good setups definitely happen. So yeah, I'm gonna call things off. Looks like this thing might try its run. I could have bought in theory, but I don't like how jumpy it is. The spread is horrible, and look at that big red candle following it. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it off. Good trading day, up 18 bucks. Could have made a lot more money, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna call it off right here.